Hi, I'm Tamta, and this is the second part of my Unity inventory project that I've been working on for a couple weeks now. First thing I want to say is that if you want to get a closer look at this project, you can check it out on my GitHub. It is fully available. Everything you see in this video is just, the code is going to be there. If you want to check it out, the link is going to be in the description. So onto the project. As you can see, if you have seen my last video on it, there's quite a few changes. The most noticeable one is that I overhauled the visuals fully. But out of the functional ones, you might have noticed that previously it was impossible to have two instances of the same object. So for example, of the same item, I guess, since this is an inventory of items. For example, I have two rapiers here, which was not possible before, and now it is. This is like the biggest one in terms of this project that I wanted to focus on, and I was able to pull it off. Also, slight side note, but the assets will are also available in the GitHub readme. So if you want all of these assets for yourself, most of them were not done by me. Some of them were, for example, this border for the items, I made that, and obviously that's not available. Well, this particular one, it actually is in the project, but if you want the potions and the weapons for yourself, they are... Does it sound too loud? I think it probably is. Let me turn it down a little bit. Okay, I think that's better. So if you want any of these for yourself, you can go check out the GitHub readme. Another function I added is that you can now drop items from the inventory, like so, and it disappears from the inventory. And then you can re-add them through the menu if you want to. And then it's back here. Of course, you can also get rid of the items through the menu. This will get rid of the, that repair. And then there is two more things about this project which I think are a little more exciting, because this is basically these two other functionalities will help me with my future projects. Basically, I made two packages, so to say. One of them is called Better Attributes, and it's pretty small, but I found it pretty useful. Basically, all Better Attributes does is it adds some attributes that you can write in your code in order to make sure your items show up better in the inventory. For example, this one has an attribute that is called icon, I believe. No, this is weapon data. I need item data. No? It's not in the data. Is it stat data? Yep, there it is. Oh, it's in the name data. Yeah, there. The better icon attribute makes it so that this item shows up as like this. Because if I remove this, this is how the item would show up, and I don't know, I feel like this is way clearer when working with scriptable objects. And then the other one is a slider attribute, which is in the weapon data. Yeah, there we go. It's called Better Slider. You pass in a maximum and a minimum and a maximum value, and it generates a slider for you. There are two slider attributes. Yeah, there we go. I should probably add default values for these, but that's for later. There's 3 attributes right now, basically, and I'm gonna add them as I need them. better icon, better slider, and better float slider. So yeah, pretty small package. I am planning, right now they're basically just in separate folders. This is the better attribute one, this is the feedbacker, which I'm gonna talk about a little later. But those are the two, and right now they're just like in separate folders, and I can drag and drop them from this project to another. But in the future, I am planning of making them into separate packages. I think that would be pretty useful. The better attributes will be the one I make into a package first, because it has no dependencies, and it's yeah, I think that'll be, and it has like few code files. The other one is a feedbacker. It's called the feedbacker, and it's based on the feedbacks functionality in feel. Basically, if we look at this, okay, let's add an item, and I think it'll be a little clearer. So if we get this game object right here, which is this one, we can see that if we click on it, it gives us feedbacks, and that's because we have a feedbacker component attached right here, and we can see that it has a sound feedback, which I can control the volume of as well. And you might have noticed that this looks a lot like the better attribute slider, and it's just because it is. Feedbacker uses better attributes, and we also have an animation feedback, and that's basically all it has. So yeah, it is also attached to this button right here. It also has its own feedbacker. Which is right here. And it also plays some feedbacks when I click on it. So yeah, the feedbacks are color coded as well, which is personally very useful for me. Again, this is based on the feedbacks functionality in Feel, and I really missed that functionality, so I decided to make my own package really quickly that basically does that thing. I am probably going to make separate videos on the better attributes and the feedbacker, so it was a two birds with one stone kind of project. I kind of practiced on a lot of things with this project, such as working with scriptable objects and the Unity editor, and also I made a couple packages that will be useful in my future projects. If this was useful for you at all, and if you're planning on using the feedbacker or the better attributes, feel free to follow me on GitHub, leave a like, comment. I also have a Patreon where my patrons get early access to some of my code. And yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say for today. Thank you for watching, and bye.